Testing 1, 2. Yeah, I hear him now. Okay. Well, welcome to Saturday Night Live Life Recovery. This is a place that that you can come and hopefully have some restoration in your life. Move from chaos to some sort of order. Has anybody here moved from chaos to some sort of order?
Getting better.
Getting better?
We're seeing the light.
Seeing the light.
Seeing it, it's getting clearer.
Okay. So, is it like in every day and every way getting better and better?
Sometimes we have our setbacks.
Sometimes with occasional this and that. So, I don't need this paper. All right. Well, and welcome to the internet, folks. We're glad you're with us also. We appreciate the opportunity to come into your life and have a chance to maybe in some way help you also. I know I have many people that talk to me and they say they watch at different times, not all here on Saturday night, and I understand that, but they always seem to indicate that it's beneficial, and hope it's been beneficial to you and also to you that are here with us in person. So tonight, let's get started. We are still on step 8. Step 8 is we made a list of all persons we have harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Now, this is our last week on step 8, isn't it?
No, we got one more.
Got one more? Okay. So, and the reason for you in the internet land, how we do our steps, we do one step for an entire month. And whatever the number of the month is the number of the step that we're doing. So we've been on step 8 for several weeks now. And so, and we're talking about getting willing, okay, becoming willing. It's not about making amends, it's about getting ready, becoming willing. So tonight, our topic is unintentional sin. So the question is, what does unintentional sin mean? Thomas.
Gotcha. What does unintentional sins mean? Unintentional sins are sins we commit without deliberately setting out to rebel against God.
So can you give me your translation of that sentence?
I did it without knowing. I didn't have a full understanding of what I was getting into.
Right. And it wasn't direct rebellion, it was just you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was unaware.
Unaware.
New to this.
Okay.
It was an unfortunate side effect of our decision.
Say that again. I kind of liked it.
An unfortunate side effect of our decision.
Okay, unfortunate side effect of our decision. It was definitely unfortunate. So, okay, good. Go ahead, Tommy.
They can result from ignorance, carelessness, weakness, neglect, or acting without fully realizing that what we are doing is wrong.
But you got any thoughts about what you just read there?
Just like I said before, you got involved with something that you didn't fully understand, and you made decisions and acted upon them, and they became sins.
All right. Okay. You want to go ahead and look, read the rest of that?
Yeah, in Leviticus 4:1-28, God gives Israel instructions for what to do when someone sins unintentionally. The important point is that unintentional does not mean unimportant. Even though the person did not intend to sin, the sin still affected their relationship with God. It requires confession and atonement.
Any thoughts about that?
Well, it's like getting saved.
Help me understand.
Well, I was just thinking, like when we get saved, we don't truly know everything that we're doing that is wrong, and we learn as we grow.
That's good. I like that. I like that. Can you expound on that?
But learning as we grow, it's a tough one. Because there's obstacles. You got to bump your head a few times before you get the real picture.
Well, you said it's kind of like getting saved and you don't know. So you know what prompted my mind?
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, yeah, I'll
I was
let you talk.
thinking, like when you get saved and you come to Christ and you're new and you're fresh and you don't know the Bible and you don't know the rules of God's rules and you you're new, and you're learning.
And so where my mind was going, so if you have made a dedication to Christ and you've and you become what we call saved, and then if you mess up, what does that do to your salvation?
Well, some people say that it ruins it. Some people say that God will never forsake us.
No, that's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
God will never forsake us.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one, Doug.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's an intellectual question.
It is. Oh, okay.
What is it?
Lori looks like she's got a response over there. She's got that intelligent look. Then she look. Is that an intelligent look?
Yeah.
Oh my.
She's got the glasses.
That's the look when I'm doing something stupid.
That's why it's such a good look. I've had so much practice with it. Repeat the question.
No, Doug.
No what?
No.
No what?
Well, you asked us if you mess up, does that affect your salvation? Yes, it does in a way, but I think God gives us space to grow. That's for His grace.
Well, may I? What you are? Let me put some defining direction on what you said, and you said in some way, well, yes and no. The no part is no, it doesn't affect your salvation, but yes, it can affect your relationship with God.
It affects your growth.
Yeah, it affects your relationship. It affects how you're connecting with God. You are, when you've accepted Him, when you've been born of Him, then you're saved. And can't, does that mean, am I saying that you can't lose your salvation? Yes, you can, but it's not that easy.
No.
It's a lot more. There's a lot more involved in that.
Yes.
Yes, it's doable, but there's some things, some hoops you really have to hop through to be able to do that. But your relationship can be strained. How about that? Would you with Him? And primarily not with Him, but you with Him.
Well, I was going to say, it affects yourself too.
Yeah, it affects you more than it affects Him.
Yeah, that's what
And so we're talking about this, and our lesson tonight is focused on unintentional sins and things that we've done, that we didn't know, that we didn't realize. And some people think, well, how can that be? Well, sometimes it happens, right? It just happens. Yeah. And so anyway, we'll be talking about that. Did you get all your stuff here?
Yes, I did.
Okay, anybody have any other comments on that? Lori, did you have any other comments on that? Okay. Willie, did
I'll
you?
have enough later.
Okay, all right. We don't wanna tap the source too much, right? So,
Yeah, we don't wanna get me off track here
okay, no, we don't.
before I get started.
So the next question is how does this connect with step 8? And so I've already read step 8. Do I need to read it again? So step 8. So how does our topic connect there? And I think this statement is really, I think, pretty good. And it says the connection is awareness and responsibility. So what step 8 is trying to do is to get us aware, because we're making a list, so we're thinking about it, right? So we're becoming aware, and then when we become aware, we just don't leave it there. We deal with it. Okay. Now, actually, step 9, we're dealing with it, but for today's exercise, it's getting us ready by getting us aware and getting us ready to take responsibility for it. What do you think about that? So we have Leviticus chapter 4 teaches us that we can cause harm without intending to cause harm. And that happens, you know. I don't know. What do you think? If we were to measure how much harm have we caused somebody and not know about it compared to harm that we've done to people that we did know about? Which one do you think would be higher? How about that one?
Say the question again.
More of. If you were looking at these two things, the one being harm that you didn't know, the unintentional,
Yeah.
and the other being, let's put it on a scale. The other one being harm that you did know, you were aware of.
Yes.
60-40,
60-40, you think?
not knowing
Not.
would be the 60.
So which one
I'd
would
say-
be most?
Yeah, unknowing. It's
Unknowing, would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
And you agree? Tommy, you gotta. I would have said it been the other way. But that, we don't know. I don't think there's been a study on that, but it was just a question that pops in my mind. But if that's the case, then the unknowing that we're talking about here today, the unknowing has a greater effect, a greater potential effect in our life than the known sin. That's what you're saying, okay?
Can't fix what you don't know.
That's true. But the trouble is, as we talked about a few weeks ago, even if you know it, you still don't fix it.
Yeah.
That's stupidity.
that is, but that we say, God, show me what to do, or tell me what's wrong, and He tells us, shows us, gives us direction, but I don't want to do that, and that's known there.
That's known then,
Okay.
and it's
So anyway, that's a murky spot there. So let's look and see what else I got on this paper. And I'm still having problems reading for some reason. I don't know if maybe it's this print's too small. What do you think?
you got a lot of information.
No comment. Okay, so let's see. A helpful way to put it for our life recovery is unintentional sins reminds us that good intentions do not erase harmful consequences. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Good intentions doesn't erase harmful. I mean, if you just intended it, but it was bad anyway, that doesn't take away the bad. We have to deal with it. Yeah. we need to deal with that. Because we've done harm, which jumps down here to a key distinction here is I didn't mean to hurt them. That's explaining our intentions, which is explaining our intentions. That's not my intent to hurt you. I realize I hurt them, and that's acknowledging the impact. There's quite a bit of difference between those two. Would you agree with that? They're both important. You have to. It's good to be able to express that's not my intention, okay? But you didn't do it intentionally. But I understand that there was a negative impact because I did what I did. Yes. Step 8 moves us from intention to responsibility, which again is what I talked about a moment ago. So step 8 starts to move us from just, we're looking at our intention. Whether I didn't intend for it to hurt you or to be bad. So since I didn't intend it, then so it doesn't matter. Well, yes, it does matter. So then we need to recognize that and then take responsibility for our actions, no matter what our intent was. Yes? Let's see. A simple teaching statement in unintentional sins. I may not have intended to do wrong, but I am still responsible for recognizing the harm my actions cause. So, comments, questions, thoughts?
I was just thinking, like, I did something and it blew up in my face, and I was overwhelmed by everything that happened. But I had to come to a place where I had to apologize for what I did, even though I was still feeling the effects of, well, wait, I didn't realize I was wrong until it happened. I've been in situations like that.
When you said that, I had a flash of maybe a memory of when I was a kid lighting a fire with gasoline.
I used to burn jelly beans. I don't know why, but I was fascinated by burning jelly beans.
I know it. Jelly beans burn, huh?
Yes, they do.
Do you hold on to them while you're burning them?
Yeah, and I burned my fingers, and yeah, I was little.
Okay, that's interesting.
I didn't know it was wrong.
Well,
But I found out when I burnt my fingers.
well,
it was wrong.
It was wrong when you hold on to when it's burning.
Yeah.
So, but like lighting a fire with gasoline, and you're not knowing what's going on, and you just throw it on, and you get up close and light it. Yeah, you become hairless, and so at least on certain areas that the flame can get to. So anyway, but after that, that wasn't my intent. But after that, I learned that we need to be a little more careful about that. It's and wind direction does make a difference.
Well, then never mind.
Every teenage boy have a story similar to that?
I don't know. I had a guy that worked at a salvage yard, and he was trying to get it started, and he poured gas in the carburetor, and it blew up on him, and it burned his face really bad. It can happen. So.
I was unintentional.
I mean, my kids have a story similar to that. So
Yeah, well, we all got to learn, and we can either learn by instruction or by experimentation. So anyway, and that's the way that it is. So we're going to read some steps.
Tell me, yes.
All right, we'll read some steps.
I'll try. Hello, everybody.
Thanks for doing this.
Welcome. We admitted that we were powerless over our problems and that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. We made a decision to turn our wills and our lives over to the care of God. 4. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. We admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We were entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character. 7. We humbly asked God to remove our shortcomings. 8. We made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. We made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. We continued to take personal inventory and when we were wrong, properly admitted it. 11. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God, praying only knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry it out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to others and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And 8 that we're on now is we made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Willie. While you're getting ready, next week is our topic will be scapegoats. That'll be step 8 again, and Tommy will be doing that. Right, you're gonna be doing step, Tommy, and Willie's gonna be doing reflection. So, okay, we're ready.
All right.
So, why did you choose this topic tonight?
Why did I choose this topic?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, I know good questions have to be repeated. I chose this because we need to be aware that even though we need to make aware of our responsibilities, whether we intended to or not, and to know the difference between the unintentional versus intentional. You know, we got to make sure, even though we didn't mean to, we still got to have responsibility for what we've done.
Take responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
And me especially.
All right.
Have.
Okay. Go ahead.
Unintentional sin. Bible readings out of Leviticus 4:1-28. We made a list of all persons we have harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. As we have allowed our lives to get out of control, we have probably hurt people without even realizing it. In fact,
Do you agree or disagree with that?
Unfortunately, yes, I agree.
So, what do you think it means as we have allowed?
We were so wrapped up into what we were doing that as we allowed it, as we didn't take the time to basically consider what was going on around us. And one thing, leads to another, and before you know it, it's like a brush fire. You start out small, but if you don't watch it, it can be out of control in a matter of minutes, that type of situation. Wasn't that we intended to, but it just happens. I mean,
Yes.
on that.
But the question was here about as we have allowed. So we did something to allow that brush fire to get out of hand.
Yeah, we didn't take control of it.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's a good statement. We didn't control it. We just let it do whatever it wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think that's a good statement, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that kind of lines up with the way most of us not not control our lives at certain junctures, right?
Right.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about the rest of that. So what does it mean? We already talked about the first part. The first part is as we have allowed our life to get out of control. What does that mean? Our life getting out of control.
Doing what we want rather than doing what we should be doing. Going our way instead of allowing, a lot of them, hey, you can't do that. Well, I'm going to show you I can type situation.
Okay, that is more of a rebellious type of.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
we have we'd have the rebellious kind, and then we have kind of what we were talking about, the brush fire, the neglect kind of thing. We just don't pay attention
not
or
caring or
don't care or just see what happens.
Yeah.
Let it run its own course. Comments from anyone? Do I over analyze and over question on things?
no. The more you overanalyze, the deeper we get into our thinking on it.
Okay, go ahead.
In fact, much of the pain we have caused has most likely been unintentional. Nevertheless, we still need to take responsibilities for our actions by making amends.
Okay.
I was just being myself.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
I learned. I hope I've learned.
So do you agree or disagree with those?
I agree
statements?
with that.
Okay.
If I only did it because they were doing it.
Yeah, and we still need to take responsibility, even if we got swept up in it. We still need to take responsibility for our actions. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
When God gave the commandment, He included instructions for handling mistakes as well as intentional sins. He said in Leviticus 4:2, 27 and 28, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. This is how you are to deal with those who sin unintentionally by doing anything that violates one of the Lord's commands. If any of the commands, if any of the common people sin,
Wait a second. What does that mean? Common people.
Just ordinary folks,
Okay. Part of the community.
just
They're not the leadership.
No,
they're not the
just-
priest. They're just common people of the land. Okay.
Indian.
Excuse me.
Indian.
Yes.
And
So-
there were millions of them.
Yes. Yeah. So start with the if again.
if any of the common people sin by violating one of the Lord's commands, but they didn't realize it, they are still guilty. When they become aware of their sin, they must bring an offering for their sin, a female goat with no defects.
And so got a couple things here I wanted to say. Is there anything you want to say there?
No.
With no defects. So that means it's why do you think he says no defects?
It's got to be perfect. It's got to be blemished.
Because God's love is perfect.
Do I?
Because God's love is perfect.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
If you sin something,
I don't disagree with those statements,
Yeah.
but
Because God deserves the best.
yes. But what's our human tendency?
To keep the best for us and
Uh,
give God this
Well,
the leftover.
this thing is sick, or it's
It's gonna die anyway.
It's gonna die anyway, or it's
Market.
do what?
It's not gonna bring me nothing. at
Right,
market.
and so if I'm gonna give it, you know, I'm gonna, it's gonna be a loss for me, so I might as well just give it to God. And so, at least this is how I'm taking it. That's the reason why he's saying that you need to bring your best to me.
By giving the best.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt them in a way, cause you can take that most perfect goat and sell it at market and make more, so it's gonna hurt them and their bottom line.
It's a prized gift.
Yeah,
It's something that's more. It's precious.
right, as compared to selling the wounded goat
Right.
or blemished goat, it's not gonna give as much to you in your pocket.
I had a guy last week at church. We'd been talking the week before because I had a question about some cattle, and he said, "I want to," because I was asking him how did he know which cattle to buy and which cattle not to buy, and we were talking about that, and he said, "Well, I want to tell you about this one time. The auctioneer kind of tricked me into buying this sick cow. Looked like it was sick, and it was he paid I think he said $168 or something like that, which is not much for a cow. But he said the auctioneer came over and was harassing him about it and said, a couple of days you're going to be burying that thing, and he kind of tricked him into doing it. He was just playing with him, and so anyway, he took it home and he put it in a pen by itself in case it was sick and wanted to get everything else sick. And in a couple of days, it had a calf. And then 3 weeks later, he took it back to the same auction and paid it and auctioned it off for just right at under $600. And so anyway, I thought that was an interesting story. And now that's the favor of God there, right? So, but if we're not giving our best,
We're cheating God.
we're not cheating God. We're cheating ourselves. Because in whatever manner you give, it shall be given back to you.
And full.
Right? So at least that's how I see it. And so sin, the definition of sin. Anybody look up the definition of sin in the Old Testament here in this area, in the Hebrew?
To miss the mark.
You're right. It's to miss the mark. Now in the New Testament, it is
All have fallen short.
all have fallen short of the glory of God. I think I printed them on your notes, not on mine.
Yeah.
Because I think I sent that to you after I got all my notes together. So anyway, so that's what we're talking about here tonight, and that's what this sin that we're talking about is in the Old Testament is missing the mark. Okay, it's an archery term. Okay, you're missing the mark. Comments, questions? No, I was looking at you. Do you have any comments?
No.
Okay, just checking. All right, go ahead, Wally.
Is this the next part? Is that numbers?
Yeah, numbers.
Okay. In Numbers 15, verse 22 to 25, but suppose you unintentionally fail to carry out these commands that the Lord has given you. If the mistake was made unintentionally and the community was unaware of it, the whole community must present a young bull for a burnt offering, and they will be forgiven. For it was an unintentional sin, and they have corrected it with their offering to the Lord.
So why is that important, you think?
To put it, Because if the unintentional sin was been made aware of and everybody knows it, then they have to be, their responsibility is to see that it is taken care of as a community. And if they don't, then they're not doing their part
Okay.
to keep the one who committed it, at least letting them know, hey, you did this, you need to make up for it. And if they don't do that, then they're just as guilty as him committing it.
And the whole community, whether you realize it or not, is going to suffer.
Yes.
Okay. I did a little deeper dive on these things, and if you went through the scriptures here that from 1 to 28, it had a breakdown between the priest. The priest had to sacrifice a bull. Leaders had to sacrifice a young bullock, and the people had to they could sacrifice a goat or some other things that they could do. And so my question was that it was in my mind. There is some difference between that offering, whether it was a priest or a leader or people, and it kind of comes back to with no defects, and they all had to be no defects. But if let's say with the priest that he'd made a sin, his offering, because of his position and his being a priest, it 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 according to the way Moses was laying it out here, his sin offering was had more impact because it was more valuable.
Yeah.
And so, which that makes sense. That means that that drives more attention to what's going on. And so, and in the priests and in the leaders, if I remember correctly, they burnt the entire offering. They offered it. They burnt the fat, but then after all that, they took the hide, the hooves, and all the other parts out to a designated area and burned it. And my question is, because I knew that the priests ate some of the offerings, and so, but where the people give the offering, then what part wasn't offered? In a lot of the cases, the priests were able to eat some of that meat, and instead of burning all of it. I thought that was interesting. It was very detailed how to do it. So, any thoughts? Too much information?
Good information.
Glad we don't have to do it today.
Yeah.
That could get really expensive.
Yeah. Well, our sacrifice was way more than in any other sacrifice, and so, and that was God's sacrifice, and He didn't sin.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Let's see. Was there anything else on here? I think that's it. Go ahead.
We are responsible for the way our behavior has affected others. This is true even if we didn't realize we're hurting them.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, I agree. I mean, everything you do, every consequence, every action has a consequence.
Yeah.
On it. So, and you're gonna have to be responsible for either one. So, best to do good than better.
I might realize why they disapprove of my ways.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't quite understand before.
We should, and we should learn from everything, particularly from our mistakes. Because if we don't learn from our mistakes,
We're gonna make them again.
yeah. Go ahead.
These unintentional sins need to be acknowledged and corrected as soon as we discover them,
Why?
so that they don't fester and it don't become something bigger and gets really blown. So that little brush fire that we started, we don't want a whole forest fire.
We don't continue to commit them.
Yeah. One time I went home and my neighbor was burning leaves. He lived, well, I live in the country, and he was burning leaves. He had taken care of it. But I came home from church, if I remember correctly, and his whole backyard was on fire when I got there, and because the wind had picked up, and anyway, it stirred up the fires or blew the fire, and there was. I wasn't worried about my place so much. Actually, I was worried about the other people over on the other side of him. That was kind of where the wind was blowing. But fortunately, I had a big old long water hose, and I was able to run it over and start knocking it down. And so, anyway, stuff like that can happen. And it wasn't intentional, of course. But if he'd have burnt one of his buildings down, or the neighbor's fence, or the neighbor's garage over there, would have been a good thing. So, go ahead.
God forgives our sins. In the recovery process, however, the unintentional sins need to be accounted along with the ones of unintentional sin need to be accounted for along with the more glaring ones.
Any thoughts?
We need to be more aware, and when we're made aware, we need to take the correct actions to proceed with it so that we could be better off in our mindset.
While you was reading that, for some reason, I had a flash of a memory. Because, and the memory was this. I don't know if anybody here know what Austin Healey American was. It's a little bitty car, and I bought it when I was going to college at Pittsburgh, and anyway, it was little, and anyway, I was having to do something underneath it, and I didn't live where I live now, but I jacked up the front of it, and I crawled underneath it, and something happened. I don't know for sure what happened, but anyway, it moved and it fell, and it didn't fall very far, but it was had enough that was laying on my chest, and I was able to hold the car up off of me, but I couldn't get out. And Whitney was, and this flashed in my mind. I was thinking about, I didn't intend that, it wasn't that big a deal, really. And so my neighbor across the street, actually, he was a dentist, was roofing his house over there. And Whitney was out there, and I said, Whitney, would you do me a favor? I was real calm, because I didn't want to scare her. I said, Whitney, would you do me a favor? Would you ask Steve if he could come over and help me for a second? And so she walked up to the road. She was on our side of the road. He was right across the street. And he said, Steve, could you come and help my dad for a minute? And he said, no, honey, I'm busy. I'm not able to do that. And of course I heard him. I mean, it's close enough. He was on his house, but I could hear him because I was in the front yard. And so I said, tell him that I'm caught underneath his car and I need his help. And so she told him, and I heard him hit the ground. And so he come over, and he just, I said, I think if you just pick it up a little bit, I can slide on out, and he did. And of course, it's not very heavy. Anyway, I just thinking about you know, stuff happens to us, you know, and fortunately that all worked out. But I think about people that you're not really aware of what's going on. You know, things happen to them and they don't get a second chance. And so, anyway, that was just my thought there. One of my stories. I don't think I've told that story here before. So, comments? So, what did you learn from this lesson?
Sin's a sin, whether it's intentional or not.
That's good.
They're both gonna, I mean, both of them's got their consequences. So we need to be responsible for every choice we make. And as soon as we realize that, hey, we messed up unintentionally, we need to correct it just as fast as we learned we messed up.
Good. What's your takeaway?
I still got a long way to go. That's all. I mean, I'm doing better, but I still do a lot of unintentional sins because I like to make the excuses up. But I'm learning not to make so many excuses. Because if you're doing excuses, that's the first sign of unintentional.
Maybe.
Who will?
Maybe.
That's a discussion for another time.
Okay, Lori.
Okay. In what areas have I unintentionally harmed others with my words, moods, self-pity, depression, anger, or fears? Yes. All of those, at some point, I am totally confident I have unintentionally harmed someone in those ways. Because life is life. And words, moods, self-pity, depression, anger, and fears. I have lived all of those. I have survived all of those.
So what would you say if someone said, you know, that question doesn't apply to them?
I would say if they are in this program and they say that, I would have to sit back and think of a nice way to say that they are not taking this program seriously. Because if you have had life, you have had all of those things. And at some point, you have hurt someone.
Oh, but you qualified it like if you're in this program. And you did that, why?
Because the way you formed the question, you made it sound like if you were in this, made it sound, if you are anybody, you have done that. And I mean, especially if they're in this program and they're denying that they haven't done this, especially in this program, then they're probably not taking it seriously. Outside of this program, if they deny it, well, then that's one thing. But if they're in this program and they're denying it, then they're not taking it seriously.
I don't agree with. I mean, I do agree with the fact that, you know, probably not. But if they're not in this program,
it's still true.
Well, I mean, we could still not be aware of things. You know, live in the land of denial.
Right.
And so
they're just probably going to be less willing to see it.
Okay. I just thought I'd stir it up a little bit.
You stirred it up. My answer remains the same, whether you're in this program or not in the program. You've hurt someone without knowing it. And if you don't want to realize it, you don't have to realize it. But it helps.
And you sure can't deal with it.
Yeah, you can't deal with it. Yeah. And once you do realize it,
So if you're if there's somebody here or out there in TV land, if you say, well, I don't think I have, I've done any of those areas of unintentional sin that hurt anybody. Let me.
Let me know where you've been living.
Well, I was going to make a suggestion. Is that maybe you ought to ask God to show you and
Yes.
see what happens.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to, well, believe it or not, that would be helpful to you if you did.
And you know what? It's not, if you're living any sort of relationship with God and you're sensitive to Him at all, He's going to show you.
Yeah, but you have to be willing. Yeah,
You do have to be
willing.
willing. Yes, absolutely. Having a relationship with God and faith, it's an action word. It's having a relationship with God is all about action. And I am learning that.
Yeah.
So, any two, okay. In what ways have I acted thoughtlessly without regard for others' needs or feelings? When and to whom? Again, yes, because life.
You don't have to say, you know,
Specifics good because
when and whom. You don't have to say that. You can if you want to.
I can't.
But these questions are
'cause
actually written, for a personal
Yes.
process. So when we're doing it in public, you
Yes.
use your own discretion.
Thank you, and you say this all the time. I strive very hard to live my life with the fruits of the Spirit. Love and peace are so high on my standard list for life. That I really strive to not hurt others. And when I do, I really work hard to address that issue right away. That being said, yes, I know I've hurt people. Absolutely. And when I do, I try to make that right immediately. And I rely on God to make me sensitive to the times when I do need to correct something. And He does that. He does that.
We invite Him into our life, and He will come in and He will help us.
Yes. And these days, He has helped me do better at controlling myself to not have to be in a position where I have to go back and make amends. One of the rules I had for
How do you like that?
It's nice. One of the rules I had for my kids were growing up. If you do something wrong or hurt someone's feelings, you apologize and you make it right. And you mean it. And if you don't want to have to apologize and make it right, don't do it.
Yeah, I'd say that's wisdom.
That was a basic household rule because my kids didn't like having to apologize and take the low road. And I'd simply say, then don't do it. If you don't like it, if you don't like the punishment, don't do it. And I would always say there's circumstances for every decision, both positive and negative. You make a negative decision, you're going to get a negative circumstance.
That's absolutely
You make
true.
a positive decision, there's going to be a positive circumstance.
Yes.
So, and this was, my kids are 20 and almost 24. So this stuff I've been saying for years. I know. Thank you for helping me with that. Age conflicts here going on. Right.
Discussion questions.
Yes, and I'll get there, but I want to throw in a side note here real quick.
Throw in a side note.
I had a family funeral that I went to yesterday. And there's a couple that I saw yesterday, pastor and his wife, that I met for the first time when I was 14. Pastor Percy and his wife. He will always be pastor in my heart. He was my mom's pastor, very, very dear to my heart. And preparing for this lesson, knew it was coming up, and the first time I heard it, it had big impact on me. And I told you at one point he had to pull me aside and have a conversation with me and ask me to step down from my position at the church because I was not living my life to the standard of the church. And I said that had to have hurt him. And so through the studying for tonight and after getting to visit with him and his wife yesterday, and it's always such a joy and blessing to do that, I sent them a message today. And I told them about the lesson and that God had just, it'd been on my heart that I needed to apologize for the hurt I'd put them through during that 1 year or so where I had difficulty and they had to godly reprimand me and show me godly counsel necessarily when I didn't ask for it. And their response was individually, but the same of, if you hurt us, we don't remember. We have long forgotten and long forgiven. And I'm so proud of you for being sensitive to the Spirit to reach out to us.
It's awesome.
And that's what it's about, I think.
That's great.
Is, you know, if you're sensitive to God and you follow what God directs you to, it's never going to be bad. They didn't even remember. But it was a blessing to me, and I'd like to think it was a blessing to them to know that I'm being sensitive to God and following through with God has asked me to do.
It's good.
So the process works, and this was just preparing the list, and so I jumped the gun, but I wanted to share that because, you know, when God tells you to move, you move. You don't just sit, you move. Right?
Good. Yeah.
So, have you ever hurt someone without intending to? Yes. What happened? I hurt them. What did you do? What did I learn from it? Hurt hurts. Hurt is not good. It makes people sad. It hurts relationships. It wounds them. Sometimes you can go back and fix that wound. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes the relationship can grow stronger through it, and sometimes that relationship is never the same afterwards.
I was thinking about your story in regard to this question. What did you learn by reaching out and asking or trying to make amends, asking for forgiveness?
When you're obedient to God, it's good, and it's going to just give goodness and comfort right back. It's gonna come back good.
Yeah. But the main point that the emphasis I was looking for is how did you feel about it?
Oh, I felt good.
You learned that's
Yes,
it. You felt good.
Good. Felt good.
That's what you got out of.
Yes.
That's what you got out of being obedient.
Yes, and not necessarily that it was weighing on me heavily. It was weighing on me, but not heavily. But now just that it's gone. It's gone. So, yeah. Why do you think God took unintentional sins serious in Leviticus 4? Well, I mean, there were millions of people. This is when the Israelites were wandering in the desert for the 40 years, and there were millions of them, right?
Right.
There had to be some sort, and that's why God sent Moses the 10 Commandments, was so they'd have some sort of rules and authority.
How
And
would you use structure and order?
thank you. Thank you. And unintentional sin is part of that. And so it just flows right along in with that. It has to be touched upon and covered. What does this teach us about the difference between intentions and consequences? Well, we'll cover that. You can have intentions, and intentions can often be for the good, but turn out bad, like the fire.
Right.
You know, you don't, I can't imagine anybody, well, I know there are, but for me, having the intentions to go in and intentionally harm someone, I can't, that's not me. But things go bad sometimes, you know?
Yes.
So it's good to have a way to fix those oopses, you know? That good?
Yep.
Answer? Okay. Are there people you may have harmed through your words, attitudes, choices, and behaviors without realizing it at the time? Yes, we did that one. What makes it difficult to acknowledge that harm? I would say pride. Pride, absolutely, especially like if you're long past that point in your life, if that intentional sin is way in the past, and you're just now to the point where you're looking at that, pride could be a big one at trying to fix that.
What does that mean, pride?
Thinking, no, you just want me to get all tripped up on my words. Having to go back and apologize and like, I did wrong. It could be embarrassing, you know, admitting, and pride, like, I'm good to apologize. Why do I have to apologize? But in the end, it's a good process. And that little bit of pride hurts, like pulling off the Band-Aid. But once it's off, there's a lot of relief that comes with it.
Okay, thank you.
Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. How does step 8 challenge us to take responsibility for the harm we have caused, even when we didn't intend to cause it? It does. Step 8. Let me find it here. We made a list of all the persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends for them all. The challenge is to make a list and take responsibility. And we've broken it down.
Well, step 8 is become willing.
Well, yes. And it breaks it down into the different categories. And this subcategory is unintentional sin. So we're going through back into this subcategory, and it gets you thinking about, oh, possibly. Oh, yeah, because that's what happened with me. The first time I heard this lesson, I had no clue about it. No clue. And for me, this is a big one, since I really strive to not do the big ones, you know, and live such good, you know, but unintentional or hidden sins is a big one for me, because it really pushes me to look past the surface into the deep and into the past and find the true gooey, ugly, stinky, dirty that's there to deal with.
So, how does step 8 challenge us to take responsibility? So, how does step 8 challenge us to do that?
But once you realize it's there,
Well,
you
but
gotta,
first you have step 8 challenges us to look at it.
yeah,
You can't realize it's there until you've been willing to look
Right.
and find it.
Yeah.
So, step 8 is challenge us to look at it.
yeah.
Look and see,
Look and see,
right?
and
And
then you gotta prepare to deal with it.
then you have to become willing.
Willing, yes.
Yes, willing to take responsibility for what
Mhm.
you've done.
Yes.
And that's what step 8 is.
Yeah.
What step 8 here in my simple way of saying it is challenge us to look at our stuff and then be willing to deal with it.
Mhm.
We're not having to deal with it yet, but being willing.
Mhm. Being willing, turning it over, asking God, give me the courage to deal with it. Give me the words to say when I address this person or write this email. Guide my heart, fix my mindset, that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
right?
All that's very beneficial, and those are
That's how we
concerns.
prepare,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
Okay. Okay.
Number 5.
What is the one area of your life where God may be opening your eyes to harm you previously didn't recognize? Did I read that properly?
Open your eyes to harm you previously didn't recognize.
What is one area of your life where God may be opening your eyes to harm you previously didn't recognize? Well, God is always opening my eyes to new areas. The deeper I go in my relationship with God, the more He's opening my eyes and my heart. And that's just part of the process.
Well, your story a while ago,
Mhm.
I think that is a illustration of this lesson. Even though some of it maybe started a year ago, and then working on this time, you
You
your
never
eyes.
said it was a fast process.
No, we're not. Yeah, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. So that story is an illustration of what this question is asking. I
Yes,
think,
it is. Yes, and that's, I mean,
and there may be other things, but
Right,
that's
it's-
definitely one of the things.
as long as your heart is soft to God and you are willing to let God work and you're responsive to God, you're on the right track. I feel. And that's
Yeah.
and as long as you do what God prompts you to do,
You're leaning into the
Yes.
relationship, and
It's-
that's got to be a good thing.
right? And that's about the best you can do is seek God first and be sensitive to Him and His nudgings.
You bet. You bet. I agree with that.
I mean, I'm pretty simple minded, so you got to keep it simple for Lori. What would becoming willing to make amends look like? Send the email, talk to the people, soften your heart. Um, put yourself in their position, even. And just pray. Follow God's nudging. And wait for God's timing. Wait for God's timing. And because it's all about God's timing for you and the other person.
Well, what would it look like to make an amends for something that God has brought to your mind?
The exact steps of what it would look like.
Well, I'm just saying that's what the question here is.
I-
What would what would becoming willing to make amends look like?
Help me out, because I'm really just,
Well, we can use your illustration
Okay.
of your story.
all right.
You decided
Well,
you wanted.
I wanted to get that off of
I want
my
to fix
heart.
this. I want to make amends.
I want to fix it. I want to make amends. I want to just know that these people are important in my life.
You saw them.
I want to
You
make
know, and
sure
so-
that it is good.
And you reached out in
Yes.
that mechanism and you did it.
And I did it.
That's what it looks like from that story. That's what it
Yeah,
looked like.
that's what it looks like.
And so and it went well.
It went great.
And you said it was personally very beneficial for you because
Mm-hmm.
it you didn't say it this way, but I interpreted it by saying it actually made your life lighter.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and that's what making amends looks like, is actually lifting the weights off of you
Yes.
and actually being lighter,
Yes.
not being weighed down with all the weight of the stuff, the known and the unknown.
Correct. Correct. And the sadness.
Yeah. And the fear.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yes.
Pride. You know,
Yes.
all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay. So what'd you learn from this lesson?
It is good. These steps are beneficial. And this is a good process.
Good. And your takeaway?
Keep working.
Keep working.
Keep working.
That sounded like almost Willie's.
Sorry. Yeah, you think we compare notes or something. Don't.
Last week, Tommy got on to me because I didn't have on my sheet there a takeaway. And so I've asked Tommy if he would read the printed takeaway on the bottom of the sheet here that I had for everyone. So take it away, Tommy.
Takeaway. I may not have intended to hurt someone, but I am responsible for recognizing the harm I caused.
Any comments?
True.
True, is becoming aware.
Okay, go ahead.
What I didn't know may have been unintentional. What I didn't know may have been unintentional, but what I know gives me the responsibility to respond.
But what I now know.
What I now know gives me the responsibility to respond.
Any
Yes, it
comments?
does. Yes, it does.
Comments? Mm-hmm.
The way you respond is the way you deal with it. I mean, there's a correct way and an incorrect way.
That's true. Go ahead. About step 8.
Step 8,
This is step 8 takeaway.
yep,
Go ahead.
calls me to stop defending my intentions.
What does that mean?
Like saying, well, I did it for this reason and that reason, and it was all because I wanted to, thinking I was doing the right thing, but then I realized it's just that kind of stuff.
Okay. That's good. I like it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Honestly examine my actions and become willing to make things right.
Any thoughts?
Because when we realize we were wrong, we sometimes might try to hide from it. Or that we committed intentional sin, we might try to hide.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why we try to hide?
Fear.
Fear. Good. And Lori's comment? Pride.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Simple bottom line.
Anybody else?
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Simple bottom line. Unintentional does not mean inconsequential.
Good.
Recovery begins when I become willing to see my actions from the other person's perspective and take responsibility for my part.
I really like that last one.
Well, it reminds me of when I was a teenager, and it says, "Well, you can come home if you stop doing drugs." But I personally didn't see nothing wrong with the drugs I was doing until I got later in life, and then I seen the harm that they caused, and I came to understand what they were meaning by, if you stop doing something, you can receive something better.
Good.
Kind of, yeah. That's my takeaway.
Why don't you read that last one again?
Okay, unintentional does not mean inconsequential. Recovery begins when I become willing to see my actions from the other person's perspective and take responsibility for my part.
What
I
does that-
didn't
what does that
realize I
mean?
was walking all over them.
Yeah. Okay. So, because you didn't see it from their perspective.
No.
So, because that was my question: is what does that mean? Recovery begins when I become willing to see my actions from the other point of view, or that
I
person's
seen
point.
how what I did made their life a mess,
Mhm.
or made their life messy, and I'm out of, cause conflict for them.
Good comments. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Tommy.
Appreciate
I
it,
didn't
Tommy.
write that.
Huh?
I didn't write that.
Thanks. You're responsible for it.
Fabulous job reading the paper, Tommy.
You're responsible for it
Yes.
because you got on to me last week because I didn't do
like
it.
that
So.
one.
Huh?
I like that takeaway.
Okay. All right. I'll work on trying to keep it there.
Very good.
I'll do my part. You do your part. How about that? Okay. Well, may the Lord bless you and you and you and you and you and you, and may His face shine upon you and give you His peace to make healthy choices.